right, we'll open this meeting of March 23rd, 2015. Let the record show that all the selectmen are present. This meeting is to discuss Bittern Lane only, so that's what we'll talk about. All right. We have information now that was sent to us, and Gail, kind of, sort of, you have a bigger one than this that we can...
I couldn't do a big one, and I have the, like what we were talking about, the sewer and the water, like some of that stuff shows up on this bigger one, so you
Okay.
can have some of that information.
So, have all the selectmen gone by and taken a trip on Bittern Lane?
I have.
It was a lovely trip.
I even went down and looked at Dennis's proposed, there's a culvert-looking thing down there at that dam already. Looks like it comes down, you must have seen it coming down from,
Into the brook?
yeah.
Into the brook or into the pond?
No, it's beyond the pond, it's right where the,
You went over the slope?
Where's the road?
Yeah.
You're talking right
The road
by
is
the road,
here?
right?
yeah.
Yeah, there's
This is
two,
bitter.
There's
They're
two,
not showing you the
there's
map.
one outflow.
like two of them right
And that's
there.
where the drainage is, though.
Yeah,
One, I think, comes
drainage down here.
this way,
yep.
and one goes underneath the road, I
It's a
believe.
dry sump.
Yeah, I think this one is something from like the intersection or Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart or whatever.
Or some of the banks up on top of the hill. Yeah, that was something.
Somebody's draining into that brook. It's not us.
Love you, state of New Hampshire.
Like coming down the hill right there, and I think that's the outfall road about
I thought last week Dennis said that drain went under the bridge
it. Yep, that's what.
and into the drain.
One,
One coming down.
it does go under the bridge, but there's a separate, there's the pond.
Yeah, right.
Let me see, where the hell are we?
Here's the pond.
Okay, well, let's
And
just
here's
say
the
this.
road coming in.
Yeah, all right. Well, you go over here and it goes underneath the road, right?
Yep.
See that?
Right there.
The other.
Well, there's an extra thing. Where is it? Okay. It comes down this way, right into about there, and then it goes underneath
Right here.
the road. Yeah. Indeed.
Is it any different than them dumping into the river? Down around the
It does
PD?
dump into the river.
All right. Let's
Beyond,
have,
not into the pond, into the brook.
Yep,
I have a gavel, I'm going to use it. Let's have one conversation at one time. Who wants to start? Catherine, you want to start it out, or do you want to?
Oh, I don't care. I think at this point, I think we need to prioritize. I mean, we keep having these meetings, and we're making some progress, but probably not as much. So I made a list. I've got two things underneath, a drainage. We don't have a drainage plan for the proposed site, so we don't really know how that's going to affect the road. And we don't have a clear utilities plan. We keep seeing proposed plans, but we actually don't know what was put in there, except for the sewer manholes and the hydrant.
yeah.
And then we only have a guess because we don't know where it leads from those points.
Well,
So you have
between the
drainage
manholes,
and
I'll
utilities.
bet you it goes straight.
In between them, yes. And like I just saw here, this existing manhole that's right up by the water, it has, Peachy had shown two lines going straight into MB Tractor, so it seems like whatever they had proposed on that one, where it was down further by the entrance, they extended it up in the road further and then went into the property instead of meandering on their site. But that'd be easy to pop that manhole and just look at it and verify that that's what's happened, so. Is that what?
There's a manhole there, yes.
Does that go into MB Tractor?
Didn't pull the cover.
What's that?
Didn't pull the cover.
Okay.
I thought I saw an easement actually for MB Tractor to hook onto that.
Well, that was some of that proposed stuff we were
There's
looking at.
Ryan's is a lot of proposed things.
Yep.
There's a proposed easement to widen the road. There's a lot of proposed things in the Ryan's plan, but I haven't found anything that's that was done, because what happened is Ryan came in and site planned, and then M&B bought the lot, that lot, not all of it. He basically bought the site plan. So I think we'd have to go, and haven't yet, go into M&B file to see what they actually did. That might be the rest of the answer, but
Okay.
to continue on, I mean, options, we've talked about it, haven't decided, is a sidewalk. The needs is drainage, snow storage, overlay the section that's missing its overlay. Issues is the effect on Ice House Pond on all of these things. And we really haven't talked much about the proposed intersection change, which I think is probably at the top of this pyramid.
What is that? What did you use? What was the top on the pyramid?
The intersection plan,
The intersection, okay.
which I think is, like I said, at the top of the pyramid. And the correct one is the one dated 8/27/14, is that right, John?
Yes. Yep, this one.
I have the mini version.
Yep.
That's in my magnifying
That's a big one, I'd really like a large
The
one.
the biggest thing I think you guys were looking at is
Where's the
where
pond?
the pond was. So the blue is where the actual water is. And then there's actually, I put the setback lines and the, like the wetland setback lines on there too. Like it'll say edge of pond, it'll say wetland line, and 25-foot setback. And where we're doing the proposed, if you look, where we're doing the proposed widening of the intersection to make it a better radius for tractor trailers, it's nowhere near the water, it's nowhere near the setback or the wetland setback line.
So where you're doing the widening, the sidewalk gets pushed in as well too, right?
Right, yeah, right here, that's it, that's
so
the
this-
extent of it.
What is this right
This is
here?
all existing.
What's-
This is all existing all the way along
Oh,
here.
so that's top,
And it doesn't start until right here. This is, the hatched area is what changes. That's it.
okay.
That was the whole goal of what we were working on with the state, was we didn't want to get into anything where we affected the bank or the slopes or anything like that. And by doing what we did, we're in an area where we can just grade it and basically improve the radius is all we're doing.
So what would be the total footage from the edge to that edge over here, from this curve to this curve? Do you know what the total?
The existing entrance is about 27, I think is what all the existing conditions plan, or 28. And this, like at the actual mouth, it widens out quite a bit. And then once you get into the turn, it would be where it says construction limit, then it would be back to the existing, but until that, it would be.
But how much
34,
more?
35.
34, 35?
Yeah,
Okay.
at the entrance, and it's mostly the radius as you're turning from the turn lane in.
You're moving the radius back on the entrance.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. Right here.
We're pushing it back that way to make a better turn lane, we're pushing it that way at the entrance to make a better swing for tractors going in.
What are you looking for sidewalk?
Well, right now, all we did is we redid the sidewalk as it exists today. Like, right now, it goes down and into the intersection right now. And when we push it back, it's just gonna be to the exact same spot and stop right by the guardrail, so you can go straight across the other sidewalk.
So where you have the construction limit, the line, that line.
Yep.
That's right about where the first drainage is, am I correct?
Past that, it doesn't even get to the other one.
Drainage down there.
The second, there's the catch basin there.
Oh, right here, okay,
And the construction limits are like right there,
okay.
and like
And
right,
here's the drainage over here,
yep.
okay.
This one
Is
is right against
proposed.
the curb now, and we need to there's an existing one that we need to just push out,
Okay,
basically add a section of pipe on it, so it sits right in the curb line. So in terms of, yeah, the other two existing catch basins, the one that is all down into Bitter Lane and the one that is on the, southwesterly side of Bitter Lane stays the same to that drain manhole, and the only thing that changes is just that one little stretch of pipe going to the curb line. Then you get a new curb, you get a new sidewalk, and the guardrail gets fixed.
Where does the two-lane end at the median strip here, or does it end down here further? It goes into one lane here,
Right about there.
right here,
It's 2 lanes right here, and you have to merge in this
down here.
neighborhood, yeah.
Okay. I personally, it just, me as a selectman, seeing that, it disappoints me because the traffic in that area is just atrocious now. Just to add
Yeah.
to that, another, 60 or so cars or better
But that's the
every
state of
couple of
New Hampshire.
hours.
That's the state of New Hampshire's
Well, I'm just voicing my opinion, but it's going to be troublesome to us. I know it is.
I looked at, looking at the overall, and what do you get, is there something with the state that, is it Agway in the post office that has prevented it from connecting? Because it's only like truly 2-lane for like 60 feet, and then it widens back out to 4-lane by the entrance to Lowe's, and it...
The reason it didn't continue on as 4 lanes is because of the pond and the cemetery on the other side. And Matsky, Phil, who owned the Agway,
Yep.
would not sell any of his frontage to
Okay.
widen the road.
Okay.
So there were multiple issues, but the pond and the cemetery were enough. There really wasn't anywhere for them to go, north or south, unless they dug up some bodies and moved them.
In between AutoServe and the post office. In front of the the car wash.
Oh, it's in front of the, okay, I know where the car wash, okay.
If
So
you face the
cemetery-
car wash,
That's
it's to the
how-
left.
It's right on the edge of the road, basically.
To the left of the,
Wow.
the parking lot
It's
comes
east
right
of the
out.
car wash, on the other
So
side
it
of the
would have to
gully.
be- It would have to be Agway, I mean, the old Agway building would have to go or something, or the road would be right up against it to widen it enough to be a true 4-lane through there. It's crazy, I mean, when you look at the aerial, it's
They
like
would lose it.
wide, and it narrows down to a little bottleneck right at
And it goes
Agway.
right back out again.
They would lose their front parking.
And it's been the bane of our existence ever since.
No.
Getting them in, I don't think this solves the solution of getting them in. It sort of gets them in. It's more of a widening of the mouth and a softening of the corner than a widening of the, let's call it breakdown lane, because the width is not a true turning lane. It's getting them out after we get them in. The traffic study, and I will admit to not reading it thoroughly, but it's based on a 30,000 square foot indoor building. And did I see one of the studies, one of the studies goes back to, is it 2010? So it's that's 2013. It's 2010, Hampshire DOT, 2010. Traffic volume immediately east of Bitter Lane. So that's pre-Walmart's expansion. What else is?
2010?
I think so. Their expansion
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yeah,
to grocery store.
To a super Walmart.
okay.
What else has gone in?
Seems like everything else is kind of,
Well, AutoServe, I think, expanded.
Well, AutoServe put the
They added
Nissan
the
on it.
Nissan.
They did the Nissan, and they did Quick Lane.
Volkswagen.
And 140, we have 4 or 5 different stores that come,
That's right.
140 come down Route 3. We have the Credit Union now, we have the Holiday Inn. We have AutoServe Auto Body, the Fireworks Place, all went in after that, which now they come Route 3 to get there.
Again, when you mentioned the 30,000 square foot, the building, the size variation in that doesn't necessarily affect the traffic counts, because the 30,000 square foot building was a single field with 3 partitions, and the 42,000 is still a single field with the partitions. It doesn't necessarily change how many people are going to be coming and going. It's the way we're doing the build.
So was the 30,000 square foot building?
It was a different type of building.
Were all 3 fields regulation fields?
No, it was all just
In
one
the new building, the proposed building, are they all 3 fields regulation fields?
It's one single regulation field that can be partitioned into 3 smaller sideways fields. Well, that's what I mean. Like you have the long.
No, I'm sorry, I just watched that movie last night.
3 small rectangles going the opposite ways.
Okay, I
And that's what
understand.
the original 30,000 square foot building, but the 30,000 square foot building was a completely different style of building. It was more like what you see at Bow, the regular steel buildings.
I'm familiar with Bo,
Yep.
not as a player, but as a spectator. Okay.
Yep. So just, the traffic study doesn't get dramatically affected by what the size of the building is, because we're still going with the same,
Well, I'm wondering what the traffic counts would be. Well, I'm wondering if Walmart had to do a traffic study, if theirs were a little more updated than this. But nevertheless, that was just an observation. And as I said, I didn't study it yet. For me, the big issue is, how do we get them back out? Once we get them into Bittern Lane, how do we get them out safely? Definitely coming out of Bittern Lane and making a turn to the east.
left day, I mean, it's left.
It's going to be incredible. I mean, it is right now anyway. I got to tell you, quite frankly, I go to MB Tractor, I don't even turn left. I turn right, go into Lowe's, use the light, and then go home, which is east. But most people aren't going to do that. They're going to try to make that left turn.
Yep.
And even though well, I call them I want to be first lines, the transition lines, passing lines, are further back from the intersection, I've noticed every morning I've come to town, they're still vying for who wants to be first at Bittern Lane. Now we're going to dump traffic into Bittern Lane? I mean, into Route 3 from Bittern?
No, I know.
And a right-hand turn only doesn't seem to be practical, because you have to consider MB Tractor coming out of there with their tractor-trailer trucks. Which they try to do mostly very early in the morning before the traffic peaks, I've discovered. So they've got their own solution to it, but now, again, add the traffic we're going to put in there.
But you're also going to have traffic coming and going at the same time, because as they're leaving, people are coming in. So you're going to have both lanes of Bittern Lane full. They're going to be coming and going, and you're going to be coming down Route 3 to try to scoot down to downtown. And there's going to be traffic coming in and traffic going out, probably within minutes of each other. If a game, as you say, the event stops and the other one starts. That to me is going to be a real big issue at the entrance.
Unfortunately, we didn't have the benefit of being at the DOT meetings. I have no idea what the comments were, how they felt about this.
Their only concern is whether traffic is going to be affected on Route 3. Like,
They don't care about traffic coming out.
No. And what their main concern was, I mean, there's already a left turn lane, so they're not worried about people coming from the south and going, towards the intersection, because they just queue in the turn lane. They wanted to make sure that people coming from exit 20 down this way had safe room to get off the road, make the turn easily, and get off the road onto Bittern Lane. So that's what the shoulder widening and the, increasing this radius was to fix that, so people could have more room to get out of the travel way into, it doesn't necessarily need to be a full turn lane in the eyes of the state. They're happy with what exists right now. When we stood out there, it was probably, I don't know, 8 months ago or 9 months ago, something like that, but we stood out there and almost every single person that turned into Bittern Lane was going onto the shoulder, like using it as a turn lane right now on Route 3.
But so they don't get rear-ended.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, people that are going in there all the time are using it, and I think there was even some MB tractor traffic that was doing the exact same thing. They were already getting off. So the state had us go back, it's like 200 feet or 150 feet back from the intersection, start widening it where it's critical for them to be able to finish getting off the travelway and make their turn easily. So that was the state's concern. They aren't worried about people coming back onto the road. They aren't worried about things like that. They were like, traffic's bad at some points. Sometimes you're going to queue and you're going to wait, but they weren't looking at Bittern Lane of how queuing and things would work on Bittern Lane.
They did take a look at the traffic lights, so impacting them, not the DOT, but in the traffic. For the volume traffic, and they felt the way that the traffic lights were currently set, which is, there's sufficient time for people to get out.
So that's what I was gonna ask, is the lights at Lowe's and the lights at Walmart, at Sherwood, are they consecutive, both here at the same time?
Sometimes, yeah.
If you're lucky.
Different.
Yeah, they're set that way.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
For the most part,
To create some gaps in traffic in between them.
for the most part, because the traffic queues for such a long time at the Sherwood Drive light, and then backs up almost to the mouth of Bittern Lane, especially in the summer, there isn't any place for you to go if you want to make a left-hand turn unless you sneak yourself into that
The middle.
left or right lane in the middle, which is, I've done that, it's kind of sneaky. But when that lane is stopped, you have two lanes coming at you going west. Because they're coming out of Walmart, which is now much busier because of the expansion than it was before.
Plus they don't have to wait for the light.
So even though it's just right hand coming out of there, they quickly queue into two because it's,
Right.
I want to be first.
Because you not only have Walmart, you have Subway, you have Service Credit Union, you have a salon in there, and there's people going in there for other reasons other than just Walmart now. Now, in all fairness, I wish we were a part of the whole DOT, because it took them months and months to realize that we had a problem right down here on Main Street when they finally got here to see what the problem was. Then they worked with us to fix and find a resolution. I don't want to say, okay, let's do this, and then the DOT may catch up with us, because that's been a pattern of theirs, to just go ahead and say okay, and it turns out to be an issue, a real issue. Ultimately, with sidewalks, we're putting people's lives at risk here. I don't know. To me, it's a much bigger problem than
I have a
Should be.
question for you. I had asked Susan Susie to kind of give us a little diary, if you will, a snapshot of what took place, which she did. She sent it to Diary Our Land Use, and I have a copy of it. And it seemed up until August 28th of 2013, no, that isn't right, because this letter's dated July 11th, 2014. Yes, up until August 13th of 2014, New Hampshire DOT was requiring you to construct a full-width right turn lane, not a widening of the mouth. And it seems like a little over a month later, they decided that it would be sufficient to create sufficient, It was agreed that widening the radius at the northeast corner of Bittern Lane would suffice to create sufficient room for a widened shoulder for right-turning vehicles. So they completely reversed their decision.
The initial discussions with them was just that we were going to restripe.
No.
There was going to be no widening of it.
Here's a letter dated July 11th, 2014.
Yep.
And this is from the State of New Hampshire Department of Transportation.
that was shooting down our...
After review by Highway Design and Bureau of Traffic, the right turn lane does not meet the department standards as designed. As such, District 3 is requiring US Route 3, New Hampshire Route 11 to be widened in order to provide sufficient width to construct a right turn lane that does meet the department standards.
Yep.
So my question is, this is July 11th, 2014, and again, because we weren't there, why a little over a month later did they make really what was an about
Did
face?
this plan after that. The only plan they had before that letter was a shoulder restriping plan that did not widen it at all. I said, here's what sort of turn lane you can get out of what exists right now. And they said, no, that's not good enough. So after that letter was written, what was it, the end of August, beginning of August 2014, after that letter, then I actually went back, 150 feet, 200 feet from the intersection and started widening the road altogether. Started widening it going towards the intersection. That's what you're seeing.
Okay, so hence the plan dated July 24th,
Yeah.
2014.
Right there, because
Okay.
what they were worried about is, they were saying, this is way too narrow, the way you're showing it right there. So I started widening it and fixing the intersection, and that's what they eventually said was okay.
I threw away the previous plan because it was
Yeah.
the incorrect one.
Yeah, and
But
that was
that one
the
didn't show
preliminary
the
one.
widening.
I wasn't widening at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't creating
Okay.
anything other than what existed. I was just showing the
Okay.
striping and showing what the dimensions of that striping could be.
Okay, thank you. That kind of solves a big puzzle question I had. Thank you. So,
One question I have, looking at the traffic study, it says the fields are for use for soccer, football, and lacrosse, yet the traffic study's based on soccer, which is half the players is football. If you look at the high school football team at the 132 field, the Friday night practices they do there, there's probably like 30 or so cars there. When you look at game time, both sides of 132 are packed with cars. I think we've lowballed some of those traffic numbers. So like when a football game ends, you could have 60 or so cars coming out, all in that same, within a half-hour time frame. And if that's on a weekend afternoon, good luck getting out.
How big is your football?
It's a regulation one.
So it'll be the same number of cars as the 3 soccer fields.
Yeah, but if you're also running, say, a Pop Warner on smaller fields and you're running multiple,
We're either doing a regulation field or we're doing 3 separate fields, there's no both.
but in the smaller fields, what do you have, half teams? I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't have the same number of team players. It may not be regulation size, but what sense would it be to have a field that a team, 2 teams could not practice on or play on?
He's saying that if you're running a football game on a full field, that's about 60 people in the facility, right? What I'm saying is if we're running 3 soccer at the time, that's 20, 20, and 20. It's still the same number of people.
there's a lot more than 60 cars, I think, at the football games.
That's the games, but at practice is upwards of 30 to 35 cars. That's at practice.
Soccer or,
Football.
like, we can reconfigure the fields for any sport, but our primary focus is soccer. We're looking to do,
How many on a soccer team?
I mean, we're looking, because we're smaller fields, we're playing 5 to 5, 2 and 3. They rotate in faster because they run harder, so it's smaller fields.
So the most players on the 3 fields all at the same time would be,
We're fully,
most players would be 60. So you'd have to say, well, the parents are bringing them, which would be 60.
assuming one parent, 1 kid per time.
But if you got one ending and another one beginning, that doubles it.
And when you look on the table in the narrative,
Right.
weekday PM peak hour, you've got 36 going in, but only 18 going out.
I saw that. I had a question on that one, too, on the Du Bois and King one.
Yeah.
Yep. You have 36 going in and 18 coming out. Unless I'm reading it wrong. I really think that this study is way off.
Well, one of the questions I asked Susan she got,
For what they need. Okay.
So I'm just trying to, I'm looking at your main concern so far is getting people out again. I mean, I think we all agree that we can get in, we can shuffle people into the site from Route 3. So getting back out again is one of the selectmen's main concerns. Getting some verification on the traffic.
I think it's all of our main concerns, am I right, or is it
Well,
just me?
even, and at times getting in, because the cars behind you are going to try to fight for that lead before the funnel. And so someone's slowing down, the guy behind them's going to see it, but 2 or 3 back may or may not.
Right.
Especially if it gets widened for that extra lane, it's going to make the people who are merging a little bit further back,
Yeah,
merging
but
more.
it's also getting like full striping, and it's gonna have the arrows for a turn lane. I mean, it's gonna be clearly a turn lane now, rather than what it is now. It's just like a solid shoulder, and people, go shooting around on the shoulder, or like travel down the shoulder as far as they can.
You're saying New Hampshire DOT is going to stripe that as a turning lane,
They wanna put striping in on it, yes. That was,
even though it doesn't meet a regulation-sized turning lane?
they wanted it to get as close to a turn lane as they could.
Wow. I'm surprised, it's so unlike them. Usually it's all or nothing.
I would say that would be our major concern, coming in and coming out.
Getting in and getting out again, and then you definitely want some verification on the traffic study, because you want to know how many people are going to be queuing on Bittern Lane, like which way things are going, like the trip generation portion of it, like which direction people are going to
Are
travel.
you proposing at the entrance between the intersection of Bittern Lane and Route 3 to have a left turn, right turn thing?
Well, that's what I need to have a look at the traffic study with Du Bois and King and see what they say for the trip generation.
I'm
I don't-
sure that Mr. Du Bois and Mr. King or Ms. Are professionals, and Mr. O'Donnell with his stamp is a professional guy. And his conclusions, I don't argue with most of them. However, cues from nearby intersections are unlikely to interfere with traffic operations at Bittern Lane under current signal timings. I know to be false. It interferes now, and there's nobody coming out of Bittern Lane hardly. Even if it's only a car every minute or whatever, 60 cars an hour during peak, 60 cars versus 0, and it's a problem now at certain times a year. It just is, and I don't know when Mr. O'Donnell did his traffic study. That's my only concern, is all of a sudden, oh my goodness, we've got...
What that's going to affect is the queuing on Bittern Lane. I mean, people might be backed up.
It's going to affect fools who want to make that left turn no matter what. There's a guy in the left turn lane trying to get into Bittern Lane. He's going to make a left turn in front of him because this is my big chance now. Legally, he can't. Whammo, we got an accident.
The people trying to make.
We can't do anything about the people who do the driving. But to dump a whole bunch of left turns into there is going to cause an issue that Mr. O'Donnell hasn't envisioned.
Joe,
I don't know the answer. The answer is Sherwood Drive, but we all know where that's going.
They can't go anywhere.
when you say certain seasons, what season are you particularly worried
Bike week, 4th of July, Labor Day, most anytime during the summer.
Holidays.
Our traffic goes from 8,000 to 80,000, and that might be a slight exaggeration, but not much. It's crazy.
We have,
Facility, please keep in mind that the bulk of our season is the school year. Summertime, we're not going to be running trains that are running over, because that's what kids decide.
what did our trip generation with the PD, 27,000 cars just going down to Main Street? Just on a given day, in a weekday? That's during the day, that's during the week.
There are peaks, and you know, on Wednesday at 9:30, it's probably not going to be a big problem getting in and out of Bittern Lane. But Saturday afternoon, a bike week, it's going to be a horror show.
You can't
But
design
no.
for a Saturday afternoon bike week.
No, but
I have to consider it, though.
Saturday morning in the
I understand
winter,
your dilemma.
Saturday morning in the winter, drive by with the farmer's market.
Well, farmer's market's not,
They're not.
No, I understand, but we've got cars stacked through,
The issue is if
the
the
traffic
farmer's
lights.
market is not there, they will have something in that building.
but it
But-
won't concentrated like the farmer's market.
I shouldn't think so,
Well, we don't know. We don't know that.
but I wouldn't think so.
We don't know that.
And that'll give us another left-hand turn thing out of their driveway, too, just to compound the fun. Regardless of what it is, you know.
but what's the farmer's market do? 20 cars an hour, give or take?
Probably a
about.
little more.
And that area's in failure mode now.
10 to 2, yeah. That's for 4 hours.
You drive by on the weekend and they've got the traffic stacked through the Sherwood Drive lights.
Ideally, it might be better if they continued that island down further, widened the parking lot, and made it so that nobody could do a left turn in or a left turn out of there. They'd have to be forced to go through the loop of the light.
No left turn.
So you couldn't turn in or out that way. You'd have to go up and loop around the lights.
But bring the median down further.
That median down
So
the
that
middle
they
of the road
couldn't do
further.
it.
Is to
That'll
block
make,
people from making
MB
a left turn
happy.
from Route 3 into Bittern Lane.
Yeah.
Right.
They're coming towards the lights, like towards Walmart and that intersection, to not be able to make a left turn.
Yeah.
No, they should be able to make a left turn off of Route 3.
Then you're gonna block off the post office too.
Maybe. Damn,
Almost that far.
it's really a
Right about
tough
where it is,
place.
the post office. Boy, it's a tough... So it's absolutely impossible to go up through the Kohl's parking lot that way. I didn't look at the
Yeah,
grades,
The Kohl's parking lot is significantly higher.
even way down at the end. 'cause
It
I
wouldn't
know
be
drops and-
impossible, but it certainly would be expensive. They'd have to ramp up too.
Yeah,
If
and
Kohl's
They'd have to
will
get
let
it-
that would require cross easements, like getting cross easements from Kohl's.
That's right.
Like to allow people to go into their parking lot from a completely different venue. Because once it gets on their property, then it's
Oh,
finished.
it ends right about on the property line of Kohl's.
Because that's not road right of way at that point,
Yeah.
then you're putting people into their parking lot.
That's not a good way to conduct your business, so probably.
No, and just liability wise, I don't know that.
It's Kohl's going to go for that, right?
I think we need to have a conversation by ourselves.
Probably. Your drainage, you haven't designed the drainage plan, and I understand
Yeah, no,
why.
the drainage.
But you say it's going to be under.
Is contained on the site, like the end, like right now, our gate is like.
Well, it has
right
to
in
come
this
out
area.
somewhere.
What's that?
It's got to come out somewhere,
Into the pond.
not directly.
No, our
Wells.
drainage, like our drainage is gonna go, it's gonna go to the back area here, and it's gonna go to this area right here, and down into the pond. The road ends right
Okay.
in this area. So nothing from this
All right.
hose will get
So-
into the road.
That corner, who owns that corner? And you're all in green, correct?
Yeah, ours is in green.
That corner there that's white, right? Yeah. You keep
Right there.
Right.
That's MB Tractor.
Right there?
I know it's
This
empty
is their,
track.
this is their, they have a fence line there, but this is wetland, that's why they cut.
That is wetlands,
Yeah.
that was my question.
Yeah, that's part of that, that's part of that parcel. but they just put the fence line along where the edge of the clearing is.
Where's the gate on this?
The gate is like right in this area right here.
Okay,
Because here's where it narrows down to actually the driveway going into the
because
house.
we're still gonna need a place to put snow when we plow the road.
And we plow it to the left of the gate.
We power to the right of the gate.
Plow it to the right of the gate.
I was gonna say, I hope you're not plowing it to the left
Towards the
pond.
If you
No,
look to
towards
the left,
trees.
That's wetlands.
right, if you look
Toward
to
the
the
trees.
left, the pile of snow is on the left-hand side, and I'm not saying it's you, but somebody is. There's a big
trucks-
pile,
Big trucks out the sheds and like. But
someone's plowing it to the left.
all that green area.
I think that's a big
grass,
tractor.
Am I correct?
No, it's not, it's,
If
it's,
that's
I'm just
wetlands,
showing
they
where
shouldn't
the
be
property
doing it.
is, like, some of it's
That's
trees
wetlands,
along
they
this
shouldn't
area, it's grass,
If it's
Okay,
wetlands.
so your narrowest point is how, from the building to the edge of the grass or the tree line or whatever? Where are you coming? Up here. This would be your narrowest point. How much distance do you have here?
Well, it's a 50-foot side yard setback. This is like, the building itself is probably 60 feet away, and then part of the drive aisle is in the side setback. So
Okay,
it's
so
probably
you-
30 feet.
So you got 30 feet
That's gonna be-
at your most narrowest point,
Yeah,
right?
and that's, in this area, it's gonna be graded almost like straight up to hit the grade. Not straight up, but,
Yeah, and back here,
Like
there's
you want.
plenty of room.
yeah, there's plenty of
And
room
you've
there.
got more over
No, you
here.
don't. This is all wetland over here.
That's all wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our main areas of snow storage are like in here, and across the back. We're gonna have snow storage in this area right here.
Yeah.
Because the drainage is probably gonna be right in here.
Okay, when you talk a drain, what are you talking, like a detention?
A detention pond or
pond.
something, yes.
Right.
But as you come into the site, you'll probably still have a little bit of room off to this side. I mean, I tried to leave like a huge area here, anticipating, trying to get a bunch of the drainage down in this area, but the way that the car dealership was done, part of it went to the back too, so not everything is coming down here.
How many catch basins in your roadway are you designing for?
In within the site, it's not done yet. It hasn't been anything done. There's probably just gonna be at least 15 or something like that with it sprinkled throughout the site.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So those are what's gonna detract into the detention.
yes, yep. And
Is your-
nothing will
and
get
the rest
onto
of it-
the road of Bittern Lane.
And the rest of it is gonna go off into the slope
Yes.
with a gradual slope up.
Well, it's a closed drainage system, so it's gonna be, like, the pavement and the impervious surface is all gonna get detained and treated.
Right, yeah.
Will you curb around your parking lot to control sheet runoff, so it goes into the
Yeah, it'll have
drainage?
to be.
Okay, so we won't have that much impact from the road, from that
Yeah,
site,
From, up to the road, it won't be anything.
except mainly from the entrance.
So we're really concerned with the
Feel
entrance
that,
portion.
Because it's basically flat going in, so
That's what I can't remember.
nothing is gonna.
I know
like,
it's
sheet.
downhill there, and I couldn't remember if there's an incline up to you.
No,
Okay, so there shouldn't be any impact from that side at all, you don't think?
Not on
To
the
our
road.
road for drainage, okay,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
What about utilities?
The utilities have to be extended whatever the last distance is, like the gas, I think the gas is up there, the water's up there, the sewer's close to the end. So the utilities, wherever the ends of them are, will be extended into our site. So that'll affect, from about this location in front of the main building and making the tractor in. And that all has to be, we need to reconstruct that whole thing, because right now it's just, a narrow driveway going into what the house was. So that all gets completely redone.
And the Ryan print indicates the water goes up through the road, or into the road.
It goes almost.
Looks like the
it goes
gas.
almost right to, yeah, where it goes to the end, where it narrows down into our driveway.
It looks like the gas does as well.
And you're going to extend that
Yep.
for the water?
Yep, water, sewer, and gas.
sewer's in there.
I think the gas actually already goes up to the existing house, so it'll have to be fixed for whatever we're doing, but the gas already does go into the site.
On the right-hand side?
It is, according to this, off the right-hand side.
The water and sewer on the left.
The sewer's in the middle and the water seems like it's on the left. So we do a couple things, try to answer some of your questions, like the queuing on Bittern Lane, and double checking some stuff on the traffic study. Like, would that help you guys get you more information of what you're most concerned about, or if there anything else we can get that can try to narrow things down a little bit?
I'm unconvinced that this is a good idea.
The project, developing the...
Oh, no, I love the project. I love the project. I'm still convinced that trying to exit cars left on Bittern Lane is a good idea. So anything you can bring that's going to help convince, hey, I'm all about this place, I really am. It's just a tough geographical location.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be the hardest, going left out of Bittern Lane.
Getting traffic out for me is the biggest issue.
Yeah. And I don't even know if that's a reason to say no, but it's certainly going to be somebody's problem somewhere down the line.
Well, if it creates a traffic problem, then...
Safety is the
Have
issue.
to have a detail? Is that what's...
I mean, it's a
On a public street?
we have to work that out, but whatever it is, whatever problem it is. But, you know, Joe's right. I mean, I'm all for the project. It's the issue going in and out, cars going this way, cars coming that way, cars coming this way, turning in.
Is there any way to define what's the state of New Hampshire's issue and what's the town? Is there some, or are you guys taking on the state of New Hampshire also?
No. Not really.
No, it's
us.
Bittern Lane is ours.
No, I know. Yeah.
The state of New Hampshire is fine with the widening of that for as far as getting traffic off their road. That's fine, that's all they're concerned about. But we have a safety issue.
Yep.
We have to be concerned about the traffic on our road getting out into Route 3 and 11, their road. We also have to be concerned of the impact of the traffic that's coming into our road and the impact on our road.
Yep. Okay.
So it isn't taking them on, it's the impact our road is going to make, and as I said, safely getting people out.
The main thing about people trying to make a left turn on Bittern Lane is they would back up onto Bittern Lane. People would have to just wait longer.
People
Well, it would
making
back up further on Route 3 as well.
People making a left into Bittern Lane?
Left out of Bittern Lane.
Oh, that's gonna
be a
yeah.
parking lot on
That'll
Bittern
queue
Lane.
up behind really quick.
That would queue up Bittern Lane. People making a left out of Bittern Lane isn't going to stop traffic on Route 3.
Yeah, it's gonna queue up on Bittern.
When the accident occurs.
Because you also you're gonna have them be tractor.
So you'd have two exit lanes there? A right and a left turn?
It did come up in conversation.
That's what we have to look at with the traffic guy. to see
Because, I mean,
whether-
that way, people would start going right and go
Yeah.
up somewhere and
Right,
turn around,
yeah, I
look
mean,
back
see,
at the
it-
lights or something, but...
So you'd have a left and a right turn, but then coming up towards the post office, they could make a left-hand turn into Bittern while someone's making a right-hand turn out of Bittern, and someone coming down the hill at the same time. I mean, I can see that happening.
You have a turning lane in front of, middle of Route 3. You can go left or right all along there, which is a good thing, I think, for this. But are you proposing the possibility of having 3 lanes at the mouth? One coming in and 2 going out?
I have to try to stripe it and see if it's wide enough with what we did, and talk to the traffic guy and see what he says of how long of a queue lane we would need if we do go to 3 lanes.
That section of Bittern, there is an easement that would allow it to be 50 feet wide.
Okay.
Is that right of way?
It's not an easement, it was deeded to the town by Ryan to make Bittern
How far back? Like, it's not...
to the Agway boundary.
To the Agway boundary?
That would
The
give
boundary of
you 2
Agway
lanes
property
going out.
and M&B.
Yeah, like what I'm thinking though is 2 lane, if you open the intersection up to have 3 lanes wide, basically. you would go back a certain distance, like a queue of 4 or 5 cars or something like that, and then it would narrow back down.
Yeah, the construction line or something, or just beyond the construction line, so you could get 2 cars making a right.
Yep.
Or 3 cars making a right, and,
We'll get like 3 cars sitting
would-
in the
it
queue
can't-
to try, if
anything
they
to
want to
help.
try to make a left, you'd have 3 cars sitting there queued, just waiting, while everybody else could go right.
Yeah.
Backing up.
Yeah.
They'll probably, people start, I'm sure the regular people that they'd start getting used to, we're gonna go right, turn around.
take
the
a
lights,
right, we can go up to the light and just go right around.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
People are like water, they find the easiest path.
Yeah, they do.
So you see it on,
I live right next to the Epsom traffic circle, and that backs up for
can
like 3 miles, heading into that at the end of the day.
you can see that 50 feet.
Most of the locals avoid
That's the
exit
Ryan
20.
blueprint, and I did look up, there is a deed, so it was
Or
done.
time it, you know when.
It was conveyed.
What's gonna happen is, when the queue gets bad like that, everybody's gonna cut through the Agway building, and then take a left out of the Agway building,
You're right.
parking lot.
Yep.
Which is fine today, but what happens when they sell the Agway building, or it becomes auto
I would
serves?
say, in New Hampshire,
Then we
you
could-
buy the
then-
Agway building if it comes up for sale.
Oh,
There you
let me get
go,
that back
it
to you.
is for
It
sale.
was for sale.
We can address that. Yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, 50
Well,
feet.
let us do these couple things anyway, and try to, now, I think we're kind of all getting on the same page. So let us do a couple of these things, and we'll get some information from you and go from there.
Yep.
Do you have any control with the lighting? Or is that state?
Do we
The
what?
what?
The timing is also.
It's all state. The whole thing is time.
Timing, I think, the township has to get things done.
Well, we call them up and tell them when it's
We ask them,
done.
Bob Cormier will,
But to set another light, no.
Then we wait.
No, I was talking about the
The timing.
Just the timing.
timing of the light. They'll set another light, but the cost will be it.
At Walmart for like block traffic on Route 3, that, even another, 10 seconds or 15 seconds would make a bigger opening by a long ways.
Yeah,
Well, they just changed those not too long ago. When Walmart went to a super Walmart, they put them in sync with Lowe's and 140, so that the travel would be, I think,
The problem you have is coming out of Sherwood and AutoServe has more of a time than coming out of Lowe's, so they can't stay in sync.
they corrected the Walmart end of it. Now, I want to say by 3
Shorter light
seconds.
coming out of Lowe's. The
yeah.
Lowe's light might match the AutoServe, and then you add the Walmart side. There's
Come
a,
out of Lowe's, turn left.
Yeah.
And I mean, before you get to the stop bar, bang,
Yeah.
that's green, you can make a left-hand turn.
We can ask the state to relook at that. That wouldn't be an issue, and they'll come out and take a look. It's a different department, but
but
they'll
you
come
still
out and
get
look at it.
the right turn coming out of Walmart. They'll just roll through the light to beat the light change.
Not Mr. Lambert down in traffic.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
So next step,
We're gonna talk to, we gotta talk to DuBois and King, basically, because both of these things are all related to the traffic study and queuing and things like that, so we gotta talk to them a little bit about the report.
And you'll look at what you can do with the 50-foot wide intersection.
May I ask,
Wetland-wise, I think you see from the, we have
You got the room.
room to do a little bit.
Legal.
Yeah, in terms-
right,
Just need to figure out how that works.
can we ask if the trailer get put up there? And
We
do
can
a
tell them
count?
to put the trailer there. It's our
And,
trailer.
Well, we could do that for a 2-week period now, and see what the traffic count is, the peak hours.
So you mean get the traffic count heading east and the traffic count heading west? You can
Yeah.
move from one side to the other?
What do you guys have? Do you have a,
We have a
Trailer.
traffic trailer.
okay.
Does the count, does the speeds, your speed is,
We could gauge that against this, and,
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't dispute the gentleman's numbers, I'm not saying he's dishonest or anything else. I just know that there's
But
significant...
if they were done in 2010, and here's 2014, some of them were
The
done.
date of the letter
Right.
is 2013 or something. I mean, it's not
Yeah, 23.
2010.
The date
He's
of the-
presenting that as of June
one of the
18th.
count.
Those figures are supposed to be good.
But, well, he's basing it on 2010
Yeah.
DOT data.
He's a professional, and
Get it over the
traffic doesn't
weekend, too.
increase in 2 years.
right.
I'll call the
Goes
chief
down.
tonight and
He's a
have him
professional.
start putting it
My
out.
understanding was that he actually, they came and they sat here and they also went down the gully and they went and sat.
That's the way it's done.
They used a New Hampshire DOT traffic count from 2010, that's what they reference
Yeah,
in there.
that's what they reference.
A lot.
But they use multiple studies, it's not just one. They use more than one, but they did use one from 2010, so I'm a little concerned.
I think it would be just interesting to see if there is a difference. If there's a significant difference, we have a problem. If there isn't, then,
Well, especially since this is March, and they say they did most of that in the summer. If there's an increase in March, then we're in trouble.
The 2007 was 1,000 more a day than the 2010 also.
That's the economy.
That doesn't make sense.
That is the economy. That does make sense. We're driven by the economy here.
Yeah, let me tell you, Tanger didn't show it. Neither did
Lots of
Walmart.
businesses suffered.
Small ones.
yeah.
Anyway,
All
well,
right.
this is a plan moving forward.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We will
Anyone else?
let you know, you'll get back to us with information, and we will,
And you guys can get it.
every Thursday, this Thursday, we are only meeting until, it's a very abbreviated meeting this Thursday.
We don't have anything to say.
We should have traffic numbers not this week, but the following week.
Yep.
Then,
We'll do a week east and a week west.
But to get the weekend.
Yep. We can,
Well, the
call him
speeds will be
tonight.
down on Saturday.
What's that?
The speeds will be down on the Saturday.
I will,
slow.
Yes.
I'll make sure that I give him a call tonight to
You know,
to
it'd
see
be
if we can get there
interesting.
as early as possible.
Now, does it keep
Is this
counting
the
it if
last
it's
weekend
parked
for
in
the
front of the trailer?
farmer's market?
Yes.
Just keep backing
Yep,
it
the
up.
28th is the last weekend, so if we can get it out there before the farmer's market stops, that'll be good, because that'll be a kind of an accurate.
Okay.
All right. Wonderful.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
So you done your dinner?
Yeah, I think so. I've had enough.
Do you want to go to non-public?
That's why I'm shying away, because I'll do the same thing.
Well, if I eat one, then I'm off and running.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hold on for a second?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to make a motion to go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3. That which discussed in
Good
public
night.
Good night.
Good night.
would adversely affect, I think it's,
Reputation.
yeah.
What happened to your cheat sheet?
I got it right here, it's pages. Well, I was trying to think whether we should do that or the possibility of legal.
Probably the possibility of legal, because, when he asked the question of,
Yeah.
I'm going to both, because when he asked the question of, are we going to take on the state, it's
Yep.
kind of an interesting question, wasn't it? So in other words, if we say no, just because the state has said yes, they're going to challenge it, definitely.
So we'll use both that which would adversely affect the reputation of and the possibility of legal. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. It's 6:03.
Time being 6:03, I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to people's reputation permanently, and as they pertain to legal matters until such time as those legal matters might be
Resolved.
resolved.
Or dissolved?
I have, I say this the same way.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. You were saying something as we were going into non-public about, and we said this is a public issue.
Oh, God, that was too long ago.
The lights at Lowe's, the timing of the lights.
timing of the lights. Because at Walmart, you got Sherwood has a long, long time plus auto serve, 2 different queues going. Lowe's, there's only one, and it's usually a short one. It might match the auto serve. So to try to keep them in sync, it is near impossible. It's like mornings, you can usually do pretty well cutting through, but at the end of the day, you're hitting one or both of them.
Yeah.
They can-
I generally hit them all.
But they can take a look at them,
Yeah,
come down, take a look at Main
They
Street.
may adjust a bit.
Right, and they could
Somebody might
adjust
have to
somewhat.
extra
They should
15
look at
seconds.
Main Street again.
They
because-
still have to adjust that one down on Main
Yeah,
Street.
because they favor Park Street.
Right,
They were down here today,
yeah,
I think either.
putting in new lights. Right,
Right, yeah.
right.
They were
thing-
working up at Home Depot, the
Well,
traffic
They
control
went all the way
people.
up.
The thing to ask them at
They were at Sherwood.
Main Street is
No.
are they doing it based on a time cycle or the traffic volume? Because
Did you
it's
guys-
apples and oranges.
It looked to me like they were installing a counter at Sherwood Drive. That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
Okay.
So if they have an infrared counter
Mm-hmm.
on the pole, count the cars going by and turning and whatever, then.
Should we
maybe
start,
within
should we
like
start
2
turning
weeks.
in?
I don't know, that's what it looked like to me, but.
One thing a little off subject, but might be timely. I went through town and I looked at all the banners that were hanging. It seems like the ones that are down there are in real bad shape.
They're the
There's like
worst.
3 of them, the darker colored ones.
yep.
Can we just take those and leave the other ones for now? Instead of taking all of those signs
Oh,
down?
you think some
of them
are good and some aren't, so leave the good ones?
Yes, that's what,
Aren't these up here on this end ripped?
Torn ones, and maybe sacrifice one of those poles, because there's one that's just missing a pole.
So we're saving the good ones?
Were you told about it yet?
It was mentioned today,
Yeah.
and I said,
Oh, today?
well, yeah.
Okay.
It's Monday.
And,
Well, it was
I wanted to
mentioned
see
on Thursday.
what the height of them are.
To get up
How high they're on the pole,
Yep.
because if we don't have a ladder,
You have to get a
we
little,
gotta get a bucket truck.
Ladder in the back of a pickup.
No,
no, and the loader backhoe,
oh,
Kathy.
you need
Put
a,
it in the bucket.
you could just put the guy in the bucket.
Vin Paratori rented, Vin
ladder in the
Paratori
bucket?
rented. a-
Can't do that anymore,
Lift.
oddly enough.
And the
You do it
lift
any less.
was just right for the lift.
I ride in the bucket in a heartbeat.
I think you ought to look at, a lift's gonna run you a couple $100, maybe 300 with mold for a day.
If you're gonna rent a lift, they're all coming down as far as I'm concerned. We're doing that
Look
once.
at Carter with his bucket truck and boom, 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 take them all right down in an hour and a half,
For $200.
for $200. That's right. To me, that's $100 saving.
And I don't know if it's $200, but
No, I don't think so.
You know?
As a
less
contractor,
money.
there isn't much I'd go out for $200 for.
less money.
But I can check to see, first of all, let me look, see how high they are, okay? And then get a price on a lull or something like that with a basket. And plus you gotta pay for a mold coming down, I
Are
know.
those just slid over?
They're slid over and then they're,
Wing nut or something?
yeah, but isn't there a clamp that holds them on a pole, isn't it?
Because the ones that, I think it's the last...
There's a clamp, there's 2 clamps, one on the bottom, one on the top.
That's what
Just take them
holds the
down.
pole.
Yeah, okay.
But the actual banner looks like it's slid over the pole. I don't know if any...
Yes, it does.
Oh, that's correct.
And it's got a thing
I
on
don't
the
know.
end. I
It
think
has
it's got
a, it
thing
has a
on the
loop
end.
on the end.
A pole
Yes.
steering thing would just kick the thing off, or
No,
I think that it's
They're
fastened
bolted.
on the end, so it can't do that.
the...
it's almost like a pipe clamp on the pole.
No, I'm talking about the...
Just taking the
You've got
flag
the
off?
pole,
Whatever you have to
take the
do,
flag off.
Oh.
take
The
them
torn
down.
ones.
But then you've got the
No
brackets
clamp,
up there.
nailed, screwed,
Oh, at least you don't have a rag hanging from it.
adhesive,
I get
That's
it.
a-
God, take them down.
But
Just
you
tell
want-
them to let go.
Everything off the pole.
I'd like to do it once.
All of them?
Yeah,
I
what's,
think some of them,
they are
Good as having
all,
2 or 3 when...
they are all the same age. So that means deterioration is pretty similar. So
Well-
if those are ragged, the others aren't far.
not
How much would it
necessarily.
cost to replace them?
The ones that are ragged and tattered were all the brown ones, which probably broke down due to the UV of the brown. The rest of them, the light blues, the yellows and all that, welcome to Tilton, or they aren't all tattered at all.
Are they faded and worn and look like,
Can we take a look, everybody, when they,
Why don't you find out how easy it is to get them off the pole? I think that solves this whole question.
I don't think there's a problem if you're up there. Lift them down pretty fast.
Well, I don't-
yeah, if
I
you're
don't
up
wanna
there,
let
they'll
them
come
all
off.
at
Problem
once.
is getting up there. Right.
Pat's climb poles.
Well, we'll talk about it on Thursday, how's that?
That's no problem for Pat.
Get my hooks out?
Get your hooks out.
I gave them away, I'm sorry.
I'll bring my ladder and my pickup.
We got a note in,
You're gonna read it up against your pumpkin box.
just so you know, we've got a
Yeah, it keeps it from moving.
email for DOT on Caleb Hill Road.
Excuse me?
We have an email from
I saw that.
DOT
That'd be good.
You all set?
on Caleb.
Are we all set?
We're all, well,
Thank you, gentlemen.
DOT, on October 29th, the governor entered into the 2040, the 20-80%.
Okay.
We are currently in the process of developing the local project agreement for the town's review and signature. The agreement will define the project's intent, outline the responsibilities of the town and the department, and note the intent to reclassify the highway when the project begins the construction phase. This local project agreement would be signed by both the town and the department prior to any reimbursable work on the project. Based on the current SAH program constraints, funding for engineering could be available as soon as the fiscal year 2017, July 1st, 2016, and funding for construction could be available as soon as fiscal year 2019, which is July 1 of 2018. So that's telling us that it's yay coming.
When we
So
did
it
our
could be,
warrant,
but not necessarily. Is there a guarantee that if,
no,
no.
It's
funny.
it's telling us the agreement's coming.
When we did the warrant article, did we do a warrant article?
Yeah, we did.
Did it include,
Yeah, we got authority to bond.
for how much?
Forget.
2 million, 2.7 million, was it?
And when did, okay, we're good, okay.
I think
Because it was
5
2
years.
million, it was $1 million a mile,
Okay.
they
I
estimated.
think it was for 5 years, Kath.
So we have our money.
We have our
Yes.
money.
Yeah,
Well,
we have our money waiting.
kinda.
And the-
No, we have
the-
our money, it's just a
Yeah.
matter of
Yeah.
getting the bond.
Right, we have our money. We
Okay.
proved that we had our money. Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
I am.
Time being 6:12.
And once again, it's just a wonderful meeting. I don't know why you people don't come down here. Learn a lot of stuff. You need, that's all, folks.